Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Ball Ridden Podcast. As always, I am Frank Sharoni. The other voice you hear is Josh Vargas. Josh, hello.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here, like it always is.
Back with the third edition of the 2026 College Football Player Profile Preview, where we are, I don't know what you want to call it, introducing, highlighting four players total each week. We each come with two players. Highlighting, focusing on two different positions each week, one offense, one defense. This is the third week of that. We are on wide receivers and DBs. So, not my specialty maybe, but definitely Josh's, but definitely some more, bigger names that people may know or that you will see pop up more, especially compared to what last week was O-line, D-line. You don't hear many of those names, but I'm excited for this week's group of guys.
Yeah, I like this is definitely like the ones where it's like even the defensive side of the ball, because typically outside of like, honestly, like DB wise, I feel like this is the only one that really like normal fans will know, like defensive back guys. So this is definitely the one where it's like you can basically pick out of a hat, and you're talking about guys that are putting up monster seasons.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but without further ado, though.
go ahead.
I'm going to start with my guy, and you know what? I've been a fan of him since he entered the college football world in 2022. Well, really, I found out about him in like after 2023. But it's going to be Cooper Barkate. Those of you guys who don't know him, he big, big white kid. All right, he's a baller. He was at Harvard for his first 3 seasons. His last season in FCS, he had 63 receptions, 1,084 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Makes the Graduates actually makes the jump to Duke. All right, yeah. What a crazy situation! This guy's gonna be set for life. He goes from Duke to or from Harvard to Duke.
How about that
This guy doesn't even have
academic
to play football.
record? Jeez.
Exactly. This guy didn't even have to play football, but goes to Duke with Darian Mensah last season and posts, you know, making that jump from Ivy League because it is non like scholarship, I guess you would say, even though a lot of those guys are, if you're a average level FCS guy, you're choosing those schools over like any of these other FCS schools. It's quality football. They have a lot of NFL guys that come out of there, but goes from having 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns in FCS to going to the ACC, playing at Duke, having 72 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And the best part about it is he did get granted a fifth year. So now he also jumped with Darian Mensah. He's gonna be playing at Miami this season. So you're talking about a guy that literally 2 years ago he was playing FCS football. He was an FCS All American, then goes to the ACC, has an absolute stellar year, and with what he did, and then now he's gonna be playing for a team that was playing for the national championship. He is the type of kid that's like he was ninth in receiving yards last year, in FBS. Um, he's pretty special. I mean, there's really no other way to describe like the way that he plays other than like he's a game changer. Uh, he posted, I guess, I mean, if you look at it, he really only posted 100 yards in 3 games. But if you look at everything else he's done, like he's basically guaranteed to get 70 receiving yards. It's what he does. He's open all the time. He's a very good player for Mensah and what Miami's going to be for them to be able to continue on the success rate. And I think it's important for him being that he's such a, like, obviously he's so intelligent. I mean, you don't go to Harvard and
Yeah.
then Duke like like that. So like him being able to grasp a brand new playbook really shouldn't be, anything for him. And then the fact that he's gonna be playing with Mensah again for a second straight year, yeah, it's gonna be pretty dangerous. And you got to think about it, like Duke last year was Mensah. Their offense was Mensah. It's what it was. They were so electric on offense, and you think about that. Now you're adding in the other receivers that Miami already
I
has
just started.
returning.
I just started thinking about their offense. I mean, we haven't even talked about two skill position players that are probably maybe better than Mensa
Right.
and like it's crazy.
Yeah. You take into account what Miami is returning, and then you add a weapon in Mensah and then Barkate. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about you're talking about a situation where it's like, what's your like who you taking away here? You can't double team any of these guys that are gonna be in Miami next
There's
season.
only one football though. You got to keep
Right,
everyone happy, but usually there's
right,
not as much as a problem with that at the college level as there is in at the pro level.
right. So it is gonna be interesting how they're gonna be able to how they're gonna be able to do that. But you might see Barkate get some like lighter
Oh, for sure.
some lighter touches this season, but you're gonna see less. He's not gonna
He won't be the
be the
focus.
main
Yeah, that's where I
exactly. He's
thought
not
you
gonna
were
be the
going.
main guy when you turn around and you look at what this team's bringing back. So look out for him next season. I think he's gonna have another. I mean, honestly, anything under 1,000 yards again this year is. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
but he's
basically
got. I mean,
jinxed.
you got Malachi Tony over there with him. Like, cause I was thinking, could he be maybe a sleeper like Bolitnikov type of guy? But it's tough when you have another receiver right next to you that's just as good. But I don't know.
Right,
We saw Ohio State do it. Have been doing it for years with multiple receivers, but
right, and then and then what's it called? Mark Fletcher's
yeah,
returning
and
again,
you know
right?
Cristobal loves to run the rock, and with what they did in the playoff last year with Fletcher, you know they're going to run the ball as well. But yeah, that offense
Right.
is
And what Elijah Lofton too is
yeah.
the tight end. He's just a big guy. Like
And
you
I forget the guy's name who made the one hand catch against Notre Dame in the opener. Wasn't he a freshman too?
it was
Light skin guy.
oh gosh, what was his name?
He's back too. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean you take a team like this though, it's gonna be obviously for those of you guys that for those of you guys that haven't watched a Duke game or know who Barkade is, like he's gonna be starting. So it's like it's gonna be very interesting what they have and how they're gonna have to navigate playing guys in certain spots. But yeah, Barkate's gonna be unreal in a Miami uniform. I wouldn't be surprised if they make another deep run and actually Miami probably wins the ACC this year.
Should. And everyone loves a white college receiver.
Right, right.
Fun fun to watch.
He's very fun to watch because what do I like to say? The sneaky athletic. He's a
Yeah,
sneaky
sneaky
athletic guy.
athletic lunch pill kind of guy, faster than he looks, faster than you think.
Oh
All
man.
those descriptors. All right, I'll go with mine then unless you got anything else on
No,
Cooper.
I'm all good on Cooper.
All right, we'll stay in the ACC then. My guy, Chase Hendricks, wide receiver at Cal. Hendricks came to Cal from Ohio University, OU, where he also had over 1,000 yards last year. He was 16th in FBS. I think you said Barricade was ninth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hendricks was 16th to be exact. He had 1,037 receiving yards, by far the most on his OU team. Played in an Ohio offense last season that really liked to run the ball. When you talk about Parker Navarro, a dual threat quarterback, and Bangura, one of the best, well, yeah, one of the best running backs in college football, maybe overall, let alone just group of five. So yeah, putting up those numbers and being, like kind of we talked about with Barricade, like defenses were definitely targeting this guy, and you could see that when as the year went on, his numbers went down a little bit, but he got off to an extremely hot start. Hot, Jesus, I can't speak. He got off to an extremely hot start last year, despite Ohio playing a pretty tough schedule. They opened the year against Rutgers. He had 9 receptions for 115 yards, 8 receptions for 121 yards, and a touchdown versus WVU, and then had a touchdown on a 67-yard reception against Ohio State in the third game of the year. That play was, I mean, he showed his ability to. He's great with the ball in his hands after the catch. That's a big thing for me. He's everything that I call like a fun receiver. He's not the biggest guy. He's only listed at 6 foot, but he's lines up in the slot a lot. They like to get him across the middle and get him the ball in space, but he can also go deep and stretch the defense and make contested catches down the field. Last year was really his first year. He played sparingly as a sophomore. Last year he was a junior, freshman, not as much, but he really broke out last year. Like I said, he was the main guy. I don't know if I said this yet, but he had 618 more receiving yards than the next highest guy on the team.
Yeah, I think like when you look like that actually means something because like when you think about what Ohio was able to do on the ground last season, like to be able to put up on 1,000 yard season as a receiver is Like is
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was 16th most receiving yard. Like I can't believe an Ohio offense produced that with how much they ran the football.
right. I mean, you think about it, like, dude, they literally like when you think about it, all you could think about is literally just run after run after run. It's crazy to think about how dominant he was. I wonder if I wonder if Brian Smith, getting fired is part of the reason. I mean, obviously he had a great year, and that seemed like that's the tough part about the MAC when you have such a good year and your team gets poached and
Yeah,
and all that stuff like that. But I wonder if Brian Smith getting fired has something to do with him transferring to a Power Four school. Granted, I mean, he can easily play there. Like he showed it.
yeah,
Like he's a Power Four player. Um, did you talk about the offers that he had coming out of high school? Like he clearly,
yeah. We can hit on that. We talked about this before. I mean, he had offers Texas, West Virginia, Iowa, and those were like
Ari-
Arizona
yeah,
State.
Arizona State.
Those were early in his recruiting process, which was weird because in the back end came these offers like OU, Miami, Lindenwood, Arkansas State. So I don't know exactly what happened. I couldn't find anything, but I mean he had the talent. It seemed like coming out of high school, especially early. I found his senior stats in high school as well. As a senior, he had 936 yards on 39 catches. That's 24 yards per catch, and then 22 touchdowns on 39 catches. So 56% of the time he caught the ball, he was scoring in high school, which is pretty absurd. And then last year, he had 7 receiving touchdowns, which was half of Ohio's total receiving touchdowns as a team. So I mean, their air offense ran through him last year, which is kind of rare, I think, for to see from a receiver who's not like your biggest, most imposing receiver, but I don't know, he makes it work, and we love Cal's quarterback. I don't even want to try to say his name, JKS, but it's a fun little weapon for JKS to have on the outside. And Cal's receiver room is, I think it's kind of loaded with transfers. I think they lost a lot of their guys from last year, but he'll be a big piece in replacing that possibly, and hopefully he can survive the jump to the Power Four level, and he showed that he can compete against it with what he did the first 3 games last year.
Yeah. Well, are we going right? Are we going right into it?
Oh
You,
wait,
you
I got
going?
one more. I got my fun fact. Sorry.
Oh, let me hear it.
He has 6 brothers,
Wow.
and they went with the their family went with the C names seemingly. Charles, Chaz, Cherez, Costa Rico, Chase, Choice, and then Jackson. I don't know what happened with Jackson, but I don't. It seemed like they might have started to run out of C names a little bit. They went to Costa Rico. They have Chase, and then there's Choice, and then Jackson.
Yeah, C's definitely a hard name to come by. I definitely couldn't think of another one other than Jackson. Uh, no, but he's definitely going to be a great player for them. I could see him starting right away. It'll be nice to watch him play. He deserves to be a Power Four player.
Yeah,
All right. Well, transitioning to my neck of the woods. This is where I live. Uh,
DBU.
yeah, and what better way to do it than give you guys a name that you guys are gonna listen to, and you're gonna be like, who in the hell is this guy talking about? All right, I'm gonna bring you guys a baller. All right, this is a dude that was an NAIA All American. He was the SAC Player of the Year. All right, his name is Kylon Polk. He was a freshman last season. All right, now the craziest part to me about Kylon Polk. So this next following season, he's gonna be playing at McNeese, and he's been helping out a McNeese roster that finished 5-7 last year. Um, they struggled giving up a lot of points last season. I they gave up like 40 points, and it was like I was looking at it. It was a gross amount of times. So this is another guy that you could think about. Hopefully they help turn the ball over, and that's part of the reasons why. He was such a big transfer coming out, jumping from NAI all the way to FCS is something you don't really see a whole lot. Well, what he did was kind of unbelievable. All right, so going into the second to last week of the season, um, I mean, he had a total of 3 interceptions. Okay. So across his first, well, not granted, he was a freshman. So across,
True
and it seems
freshman.
like he didn't really play the first week either. So like he really like his first week, like actually playing seemed to be like week 2. But like going in to like what is this? I mean, I guess this would be what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in 9 career games. In his first 9 career games, he had a total of 3 interceptions. That was it, which is a solid campaign for a freshman. But it's what he did on the back end that really kind of turned around everything, made him an All-American. There's a few like media outlets that gave him like the NAIA Player of the Year defensively. Uh, he had back-to-back 4 interception games to end his freshman
How
campaign.
does that happen?
That's
That
that's
is crazy.
it's unbelievable to think about. So you're talking about he had 3 interceptions in his first 9 career games as a freshman, and then finishes with 8 in his last 2 weeks. So, I mean, you gotta think about it like, if he has 1 or 2, maybe more interceptions, even 3, you're talking about a guy that had a dominant freshman campaign that's probably, trying to maybe look for a transfer up, could go to a D3, could go to a D2, maybe go to a better NAIA school. This dude went from literally 3 career interceptions in 9 games to he's gonna be, like, potentially starting against LSU in his sophomore campaign. That's that's unreal. To be able to, like the turnaround that he had, uh it's kinda awesome. I saw this video of him on Twitter. It was awesome. He was talking about how growing up he fantasized and really wanted to be like Tyrann Mathieu, wanted to be Honey Badger. Um, so he's like that's his like role model when it comes to football is Honey Badger. He said he had like the blonde mohawk and everything like that.
He kind of looks like him a little bit.
Yeah, right? So it was kinda funny, like, thinking about it, but yeah, I just like, it's awesome to see, like, a guy that like that can go jump up to that next step. Obviously, I hope he can get on the field right away. He is only gonna be a sophomore, so regardless, like, maybe it is a little bit quicker for him. Regardless if he gets on the field next season, you gotta think, like, he is only a sophomore, so he's gonna have at least 2 more years, plus with the new NCAA rule that just passed today, I guess, at least 3. So like this is a dude like literally like I said, starter in NAIA, had a good freshman campaign, and literally in 2 weeks went from like being a solid NAIA freshman starter to now playing in FCS and playing in FCS in Texas where a lot of those schools are big. You get like Tarleton, you get obviously UCRGV, our boys,
Isn't
and you
McNeese
get
Louisiana?
yeah, oh yeah, you're right, you're right. I
They're in
meant like the Southland
that
Conference. I
conference. Yeah,
meant the
yeah, yeah.
Southland
You're right.
Conference.
You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
And in the Southland though, like you get all those those schools that like actually like they are like pretty solid
Yeah.
because like outside of the Missouri Valley, it's really these Midwest teams and Texas and Louisiana, obviously the Southland. So he's gonna get some good competition. Then he plays LSU, which will be a huge game for him. He is from Louisiana, so hopefully he can
I
get on
was
the
gonna
field.
say, it seems like Louisiana through and through. From Louisiana, the NAI went to is Louisiana Christian. Goes to McNeese. The next in order could be LSU, or you would hope is LSU. Well, maybe what Tulane then LSU. But yeah, that's sweet that he gets to play there this year.
Right. I mean, he's probably like. I mean, obviously I don't know. I don't know much about him. Obviously, like his fandom, but like think about it. Like this kid's probably watching LSU games, being like, "Oh my god, that's like imagine playing in Baton Rouge,
Yeah,
and now he literally gets to play in Baton Rouge. So awesome for him. I can't wait to watch him this season. Hopefully, he gets on the field and plays a lot. But yeah, he had 11 interceptions last season, and ended up being in a lot of books the NAIA Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, any sort of clue as to why NAI out of high school? Just a complete miss, possibly late bloomer or something.
Right. So I think it could have been more of a late bloomer. He's not very big. He is only 5'10", 170 is what he's
Yeah,
listed at. So like, but that's what happens with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys get overlooked, especially at the defensive back position. Coming out because they're so like they're athletic, they're good enough, but like
it's the size at the
they're gonna
next
give the
level.
chance to a 6'2" kid that runs the same thing. But at the end of the day, it's like you could be 6'2", but you might not be able to know your left from your right.
Yeah,
So and it's that's what's nice about seeing a kid like this being 5'10" and now getting that opportunity that he had to make the step up because he had such a good season.
yeah. That's a great poll, and that shows like the positives of the transfer portal really too. When you got a kid like this that was overlooked out of high school, already got already a major transfer up, even though it's only the FCS after a freshman year and maybe even more. And I'll definitely be looking for him when LSU plays McNeese then this year.
It's gonna be awesome to see him try to get on the field. I might have to buy a Polk. I might have to buy a Polk McNeese jersey.
That's a good one. All right, I'll also throw a safety out for my defensive DB. You had a little 5'10", 170 safety. I'm going 6'4", 215 out of BYU. Faletau Satuala. I think I got that right. Faletau Satuala. You always love to see a Polynesian name back at the safety position. That's what kind of caught my eye. But hey, he's a great player. He's going to be a junior this year at BYU. Stayed at BYU despite them leaving losing their defensive coordinator, which is kind of surprising. But well, I'll touch on that in a little bit. But yeah, 6'4", 215. He basically looks like Kyle Hamilton out there. So
Yeah.
your bigger safety loves to play in the run game. He's a lot of the stuff highlights I saw of him. He was inside the box and looked more like a linebacker, or even at times literally lined up as like an edge, blitzing off the edge. Led the team in tackles last year with 84. Only started 7 games though, and didn't start until week 7. So didn't play as much as a freshman last year. It seemed like they were kind of acclimating him to the defense. Finally got to be a starter about midway through the year, and I mean, really played really well for them. 84 tackles, 3 interceptions, one of those being a pick six, 7.5 tackles for loss, which I feel like is pretty solid stat for a DB. Also had a sack, and then had a monster game against Utah with 12 tackles and a forced fumble. There's this one big highlight play he has that kept coming up when I was looking stuff up, where he just laid a receiver out on the sideline, but it was like a clean, perfect hit, inside the strike zone or whatever. But he likes to hit as a DB, but I mean, I'm assuming everyone would if you had that sort of body and you're going after dudes that a lot of time are a lot smaller than you. So yeah, there is one problem though.
I don't know if you were gonna point it out though, but
Yes, he suffered an injury here recently. I think it was this past week actually.
it was literally this past weekend. However, he is in the spot though where like it seems like it was significant, but it wasn't severe.
The timeline's like 8 weeks, which is putting it right at near the beginning of the regular season. Someone pointed out their first game's against an FCS opponent, so if they're looking to buy time, that helps. But he's a returning starter, but I mean, it's not great when you talk about missing time in training camp when you have a new defensive coordinator. But the new DC is a guy who was retained from the past staff, so I don't know, but just had to throw that out there. He's dealing with an injury. Will be ready to play at some point this season, probably early, but might not be out there week 1. And then the one thing I want to talk about with Jay Hill, the old DC who left. So apparently he was a massive part of this kid's recruiting process to BYU, and a major reason that he went there. And I also read that they didn't lose any major contributors on defense that were eligible. Any major contributors that were eligible to return. None of them followed Hill to BYU. And this kid said Hill didn't even contact him because he, didn't technically enter the portal because of the rules and everything. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, or he's just protecting his name. But the one really interesting thing about his recruitment is he allegedly chose BYU over Utah by flipping a coin. So he came down to those two schools, didn't really know what to do with the decision. His mom told him, it's time, you got to make a choice. So he said he flipped a coin. To quote him, he said, I don't know if that was a good way to put my future, but I had no other option. My mom jokingly told me to flip a coin. I was like, shoot, I don't really got anything else to decide on. So it was true, yeah. So, I mean, kind of crazy for a kid from Utah and to be that big a rival schools to put the fate in a coin flip, but it seemed to have paid off with how well he did last year at BYU, and he said, shit, we're 2-0 against Utah, so I think I made the right choice. But
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Like Whittingham missed out on him twice. You really think about it. Like, I mean, that's probably a guy you're probably thinking like, oh, this guy's probably jumping. Especially with how close he was to committing to Whittingham. Plus, you also have Hill going over to Michigan.
Yeah.
So, great. I mean, hey, you know what? what's the guy Joseph Smith? Joseph Smith on this guy from the Mormon guy. You know,
Who?
is Joseph Smith like the Mormon guy?
Like the Mormon religion? Like the leader
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
it?
Like what's the guy that writes all
I,
the books like
I
for
don't
Isn't
know.
he
The
like
Book of
I think he's like
Mormon?
Joseph Smith, dude. I don't
That
know.
sounds like a Mormon name, so yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah, so maybe he got to him. Maybe he got to him, and his books and his teachings are more. It is Joseph Smith. All right. It's
All
like,
right, we'll defer to you on Mormonism, I guess.
all right, so yeah, maybe it made a big point for him, and he wanted to stay in Utah. It is interesting though that whole defense is coming back, and hopefully he can stay healthy and get in.
The whole like secondary is has returning starter experience, so their secondary could be nasty, and I think Faletau could be a huge reason why, and possibly a name that starts to get thrown around for NFL draft circles, especially just with his build and the way he plays, the effect he has, and not afraid to be in the run game. And also, I'm not. I mean, I don't know coverage skills wise, but he seemed like a. I saw this one play where he was literally lined up on as an edge, like he was going to go blitz off the end. Last second, drops back right before the snap, gets to the flat and undercuts an out route, and the amount of ground he covered that quick to go from edge to undercutting an out route, picks it off and takes it back for a pick six. That was one pick six he had last year. I mean, it just showed his athleticism that really popped off to me. And then you see him the next play just like lay a dude out. But 6'4", 215 safety is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, you can't teach that part about it. So he's definitely a kid he's gonna be really good for BYU, and especially on a BYU team that's gonna be very good this year.
Flying under the radar, I think, a lot, especially Bachmeyer. I mean, he was
Right.
he was pretty solid as a freshman.
I mean, you're talking about a team that literally only lost to a team. The only loss was a team that was in the playoff last year twice.
Yeah.
Like they're very good, and they did not lose a lot.
No. No. Yeah, I'm excited to see BYU this year, and the Big 12 may appear to run through Texas Tech, but I guess let's end this with any word on Brendan Sorsby. This is being recorded shortly after the announcement that the NFL supplemental draft is canceled.
It's very surprising. I mean, I kind of just saw though, like the supplemental draft hasn't happened in a few years, and no one else put in for it. So I feel like that kind of affected them.
Well, it seemed like the NFL was also saying, "Hey, we're not messing with this gambling stuff."
Right. So I think it's a very point, but also to my point, like, or to the point of this, like, he's a good player, but like the reality was, like, he wasn't, in my opinion, I don't think he was a top five quarterback, like, in this class coming out.
Nah,
Like, I don't know if he would have been drafted anyways if he would have just actually entered the draft. He's gonna look really good playing for Anthony Beck next year in Orlando, though.
he
I'll tell
I
you what.
that would be the last thing he would do, right? Because the
Oh
season's.
yeah.
I mean, if the UFO's smart, they'll freaking move the season to the fall just for him.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to think about it like, well, because what he can't get drafted. So I don't understand like what he can't join the NFL this season. I don't think it is.
No, it said he can't sign as a free agent either. I mean, we got to be at the point, right, where he says, I mean, he's got to be. I'm tired of hearing all the news about it. I'm assuming he's got to be tired. Well, I think
Right.
you get to a point now where you say, screw it. I messed up. I got to deal with the consequences. I'm going to deal with it. Stay with Texas Tech as, help him coach or something, run scout team all year. You can go against a number one defense, but, just sit out and train somewhat on your own. Maybe stay with Texas Tech as a team if you need to, and fix himself mentally if he needs to, and fix his.
Right. Because I mean, that's what's going to be the hard part about this too. Is like you're talking about a kid too that like he's missing out on $3 million. Like
I think
like
it might be more than that.
Well, yeah, like minimum $3 million is what he's probably missed out on just because he was gambling. Like that's absurd. So like you got to think as like a mentality standpoint and like obviously now the NFL literally announcing that there's no way they're gonna let you join their league this season. It's got to be like mentally,
Yeah,
insane for him. So you got to think like he's got to uh he's got to be at a point where it's like maybe staying at Texas Tech and doing what you said uh, could be the best path for him. Maybe he joins an NAIA school.
that's because that's what what's his face? Hunter Deckers did, right? The Iowa State
Yeah,
quarterback that got caught.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's because it's not like they're not NCAA, isn't it? Like NJCAA, it's a whole different organization, so they don't have to follow
There
the
is the
rules.
NJCAA, which is like JUCO. You can join a JUCO, or like the NAIA is not the same.
JUCO
You
and
can
NII.
you can join like the Christian League, whatever. What's the
I
one
don't.
basketball league up here? Like Trinity College, that's close to where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's what
god.
I'm interested if he does go that route. But I think the smarter way would be, if
Yeah,
Texas Tech takes you back, but train there and take on a sort of coaching role, but and do as much as you can. But I think I think mentally he has to be going through it right now with all like the changes he's gone through in the past month and the different news stories. But I don't know
oh
if
yeah.
I were him, I'd be kind of over it and just say, hey, let me deal with this. I messed up.
Do you? All right. Last thing. I want to wrap this up. Do you think that if he stayed at Cincinnati, any of this information would have came out till after this season?
That's what's interesting because alleged, I don't know what to believe or not, but people say Cincinnati knew, right? But we're covering it
Yeah,
up.
that's the belief that Cincinnati covered it up, and as soon as he left was kind of when there was like, oh, I guess whistleblower is what you would call it, like the one that like kind of was like ratting or saying
Hmm.
like what happened. So yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know because you've seen it happen before with college athletes to where there was a situation at Pitt, right, where a player may or may not have been
Exactly.
caught for sports gambling, and it was kind of dealt with internally, right?
Right, swept under the rug. So I wonder, I wonder if that was kind of the situation, and because he made it a point to transfer, someone wasn't happy about it. But yeah, I guess maybe we'll hear his side of the story soon, but it'll be interesting.
I would love to. All right,
Oh,
we'll wrap up with that. That this was the third edition of the 2026 college football player profile preview. We had Cooper Barricade. I always
I say Barkate.
all right.
I
I
don't really
always
know.
just think of Baccarat when I see his damn good name.
Cooper Baccarat.
Yeah.
Maybe is Cooper gambling? Hey,
Gosh.
don't let Brendan Sorsby know about that one.
All right. Cooper Barricade out of Miami. Kylon Polk, safety from McNeese. Chase Hendricks, wide receiver at Cal, and Faletau Satuala, safety out of BYU. That'll wrap up the wide receivers and DBs portion. And next week, the schedule says, is it quarterbacks finally?
I believe we are quarterbacks next week.
Do we finally go to quarterbacks? No, we don't. We might change that up. The schedule says tight ends, linebackers, but we'll see.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to wait on Caden Hauser a little bit longer. All right.
Your boy. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Josh, thanks for joining as always. Peace.